Not only are churches meant to be sanctuaries, but the doctor-patient relationship is also meant to be sacred. Although, there are times when perhaps doctors could be a little forthcoming with information, particularly Joe Biden's doctor, Kevin O'Connor. He was giving evidence to a House Oversight Committee that were looking into whether or not people covered up Joe Biden's mental and physical decline while he was president of the United States. A fairly important question to ask. So Biden's doctor was called to give evidence, and he was asked if he'd ever told a lie about the president's health. Here's how he responded.
Were you ever told to lie about the president's health?
On the advice of counsel, I must respectfully decline to answer based upon the physician-patient privilege and in reliance on my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. I am not a lawyer. I must follow my lawyer's advice in this matter.
It's a pretty simple yes or no question. Were you ever asked to lie about the president's health? No, never. Or actually, yes. But instead he pleaded the fifth, as he did 14 times in 20 minutes.
I must respectfully decline to answer based on the physician-patient privilege and reliance on my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. On my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. On my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. On my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. On my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
Now, of course, everybody said if he won't answer the question, that proves he's hiding something. His lawyer, however, said, no, it just proves that he holds the doctor-patient relationship sacred and he is committed to that. Thoughts? Do you buy that?
Oh, I mean, he's not doing himself any favours by saying that. At least give us something. At least say, no, I didn't lie, or I told the truth, or anything. But just to say I plead the fifth constantly, all that does is just advance speculation that now I think is very well founded that Joe Biden was actually incapacitated for the majority of his presidency. I mean, there was an event hosted by George Clooney. He walked up to George Clooney. He didn't even recognize who he was. Like this man was leading the free world. And as part of
To be fair, George Clooney hasn't had a decent movie in quite a while. So,
That's true.
Hang on, which one is leading the free world, Biden or Clooney?
Yeah. But as part of this inquiry, they're also looking into the auto pen and whether that might have been abused by others around Biden. And that has massive implications. If it's found that Biden wasn't able to know what he was signing and others were using the auto pen on his behalf, all of the pardons he granted to the Biden family, potentially gone. All of the executive orders, gone. So, I mean, huge potential ramifications from this.
Yeah, very much so. And again, from what I saw, I must admit I didn't see the whole testimony. It seems like there wasn't much to see.
That was pretty much it.
He wasn't like getting all high and mighty on the Hippocratic Oath and saying, I'm sorry, as a doctor, I couldn't possibly reveal the most intimate. He says, based on my lawyer's advice, I'm not a lawyer. My lawyer told me to say this. And so it looks like the lawyer's the sort of dodgy, sleazy one with something to hide instead of him. So so it wasn't like he was pretending particularly convincingly that this was, I mean, I know they said it afterwards, but at the time that this was this sort of gross violation of, doctor-patient privilege or confidentiality. Yeah. And the worst part is, of course, though, you're not allowed to, in a courtroom, this wasn't a courtroom, but you're not allowed to assume the way the Fifth Amendment works is even though it is so clearly someone who has something to hide who would use it, you're actually, like if you're a jury or a sitting body, you're not allowed to infer that.
Yeah.
It is the most frustrating thing in the world. And so the Americans, with their annoying loves of freedoms and rights and everything, they keep protecting these.
His testimony was meant to go for hours. It only lasted 20 minutes because he refused to answer anything.